A large bloom of toxic microalgae has had a devastating effect on South Australian marine life, since it was first observed on beaches south of Adelaide in March 2025. As leaders of New Zealand's seafood safety research platform, Cawthron researchers are working alongside their Australian colleagues to support the South Australian response to the bloom.
Obviously there's a huge diversity of microalgae that occur in the ocean. They're really important for the ecosystem. They're food for animals, they produce oxygen, do nutrient recycling, all those things. So thousands and thousands of different species occur, but only a very small number of those seem to cause issues for human and animal health. So something like only about 200 species are known to produce these kind of harmful toxins.
When the bloom emerged, the South Australian government, seafood industry and researchers across Australia began working on a response, starting with identifying the microalgae species and toxins present. One of these researchers was Professor Shauna Murray from the University of Technology, Sydney, who is an international expert on New Zealand's Seafood Safety Research Platform Advisory Group and a long-term collaborator with Cawthron.
We have had blooms of Karenia mikimotoi. What we haven't had is blooms of this extent and causing this degree of devastation. So it became clear that this was a species of Karenia, but perhaps we didn't know enough about it. So Dr. Kirsty Smith, who I've been working with for more than a decade, had developed some great assays that could help us confirm the identity of the species of Karenia.
We have a really unique setup here at Cawthron where we have research capability alongside commercial laboratory testing, and we work super close together. We also have biologists and ecologists as well as chemists, so we work as a really strong team, and it's really complementary skills.
So brevetoxins are a regulated class of marine toxins. They're known to be produced by a harmful algal bloom species known as Karenia brevis, which is particularly problematic in the Gulf of Mexico along the Florida coast. So it's both interesting and concerning that we're observing brevetoxins in this part of the world as part of this bloom that's going on in South Australia. Brevetoxins cause a shellfish poisoning syndrome known as NSP, neurotoxic shellfish poisoning. More broadly, brevetoxins can have an impact on marine mammals, and that's certainly something that's observed in the US. Cawthron does marine biotoxin testing for all commercially produced shellfish in New Zealand. So we monitor for all of the regulated shellfish toxin classes, which include brevetoxins, the NSP toxins. So we have developed analytical test methods to be able to monitor for brevetoxins, and those are deployed through our commercial testing laboratory.
Cawthron's work is informing the South Australian shellfish industry's response, and the goal is to monitor the bloom closely so that they can reopen as soon as it is safe to do so.
So what we really need to do is get many of these species into culture as possible, so then we can start understanding what compounds and toxins they are producing and what those impacts may be.
As leaders of New Zealand's Seafood Safety Research Platform, Cawthron works in partnership with industry, government and researchers from universities and New Zealand's public research organisations to safeguard public health and our $2.2 billion seafood industry.
The Seafood Safety Research Platform has the goal of performing research to understand seafood safety risks to New Zealand seafood, and to ensure that it is both safe to eat and able to enter our key export markets. International partnerships are really important for the Seafood Safety Platform. They give us a good understanding of what's going on in different parts of the world.